Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Album Book Club. Today we have an interview with the Gamels, specifically with Samuli. We've got some awesome questions for him. Let's go on and get started. All right, so starting with a pretty obvious one. How did you come up with the name for the band?
The name, it was literally just like a spur of the moment thing. So my mate who does like most of the production, Joel or Joel as you would say, he was playing like a DJ gig at a bar in town, and I was just chilling out there. We stood outside, was just trying to think about like a name for the band that we just started doing. So I just went like, it'd be cool to be called like the Lucky Strikes or something. But then like going through Spotify, all of those names are obviously taken. So my mate Joel, he literally like took a drag from a cigarette and just went the Gamels, and that was it. It's like most band names, just a spur of the moment thing.
Awesome.
Who are your guys' inspirations musically?
It's quite a wide palette, to be honest. It's a lot of 90s, like early 2000s stuff. So like to name a few, be like Primal Scream, or Chiba, Thievery Corporation, Dido as well. Absolutely love Dido. French house stuff like Daft Punk, Mojo, those sort of bands. A lot of the like 90s trip hop and house stuff that we're drawing from, but also like more recent artists like Bicep.
Can you talk a little about your songwriting process? Do you guys prefer sampling or building from the ground up, or a kind of a mixture?
Don't really have a process. Like a lot of the songs from the record, they started out like probably about half of them were like just these really rough demos that I had on my phone, or like little riffs that I'd recorded like throughout the years. And I sort of went through them, chose a few of them, and then I just sort of figured that maybe you could try and turn these into sort of like, because they weren't like these ideas that you could like not really develop into a song, like a singer-songwriter kind of song, but they worked in a groove, like in an electronic music sense. So I just threw those at my mate, and we just started like making beats out of them. Like the first song that we made was Bittersweet, which it was literally like just a happy accident. So I went to my mates. We saw each other for the first time in years, and I was running around. We had some beers. We were just talking shit, and then I asked my mate like, how do you make a beat? Because I knew he did DJ stuff and all that. So I asked him like, how do you like make a beat on the computer? And then he showed me like, yeah, it's just like sample a old drum beat or something, like make a loop out of it. And then he showed me how he did it, and he made the Bittersweet drum loop, and he had a guitar, so I just started strumming the chords on top of it, and that's how the whole thing actually got started. Like we didn't plan on making a band or making music, it just sort of came about. So from there on we just started, usually either starts with a guitar riff that I've got, or a beat that Joel has made, and then we just start building up from there. And sort of whatever samples we might use, they're usually like an afterthought, or like the last thing. Like the beat and the sort of like songwriting part comes first.
We talked about it in our live. You guys used some samples of Joe Biden. Was there any particular reason for that, or did you guys just think it was funny? I mean, we kind of thought it was funny. That was pretty much our take on it.
Yeah, you were right. It was just funny. I remember the review you guys did. I think one of you was like, I don't know, they're trying to be political or something. I don't know what's going on. Like when we started the whole thing, me and Joel, we were specifically like, we don't want any politics. Well, no, we just make music, no politics whatsoever. So the Biden thing, it's in the song International Meetings. The idea came from because the song, after that song, the sort of the mood of the album changes a bit. So when it goes to Sick Break, it's a more like moody, downbeat, slightly darker, if you could say so. And I wanted the go from International Meeting to Sick Break. There had to be some sort of little transition, like something to ease the transition. And for some reason, I just thought of that Biden clip where he does the whole, it's that like press conference or something in Asia where he goes, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go to bed. And I thought like, well, the album goes into like a downbeat, moodier style, so maybe that clip of him saying I'm gonna go to bed sort of fits in. I don't know, because we wanted the album to have this sort of funny little like comedic side to it as well. You know, like the 90s like hip hop records, they have a lot of skits. That's like, they're basically like little bits of comedy. So we kind of wanted to have that same, you know, thing on the album. And yeah, we tried to sample that quote from Biden. And then because that song it's basically like a hip hop song. One of Joel's mates who could do like scratching, he came round to do scratching on that song just to see what happens, and we gave him a few little clips to play with, and we happened to have that whole Biden speech, that whole press conference that he did, and he just started scratching the conference, and we immediately went like, oh shit, this is actually quite cool, like maybe just use the whole clip and like put it into the whole song rather than just the end. And we found all these rhymes, like the international meetings thing that he says, I can't remember how it goes. But anyway, like he actually had rhymes in that thing that he was saying, and then they just fit in perfectly with the song. And yeah, like again, it was just like a happy accident how it turned up. But yeah, just being funny, not trying to make a statement or anything.
When you guys are writing music, do you have any like less likely to have techniques or like unique techniques that you use?
I wouldn't say so. Like the main technique we really use is just improvisation. Like we just, if we get an idea going, like a beat or like a simple chord sequence or something, we usually just hit record, and like I'll pick up the guitar and just start playing, and then something might come out. For example, all the saxophone stuff on the album, we recorded that in one day. And the guy who came in, he just improvised everything on the spot. And we just did like the sick break, for example. I think we did like about 5 takes for the song. And then we just went through all the different takes, copy and paste, see what works. And that's how it came about. Like with the vocals, like the actual like sort of songwriting part of it, it's mainly me that did those, because I've mainly been doing like playing guitar and writing songs. I don't really have a process. It's just picking up the guitar and doing it.
And with that, do you have any pieces of gear that have been inspiring you recently or inspired big parts of the last album?
I wouldn't say there were a lot of gear that inspired the first, because this album that we did, Purest Expression, it was like the name tells you, it was very improvised, sort of just on the spot, just happened, you know. So we weren't really inspired by a lot of different stuff. We were a lot of sampling old drum beats, you know, like the Think Break or Armor Break, and layering. Well, we layered a lot of like 808s and 909s on top of them, obviously. So you could say those. But yeah, we are at the moment. Actually, we are like working on more music at the moment. So we kind of pretty much got another album in already. Like the amount of ideas we've got, and this time we've got more of definitely a more like concentrated sort of idea, or like a more thought out idea what we're trying to do, and definitely the 808 and like 909 drum machines are a big inspiration, and obviously, and I've also been getting obsessed with the the 303. I really want to use more of that in the songs that we're gonna do in the future. So that sort of stuff, and like obviously old synthesizers, like the stuff they used in the 90s, like there's a Roland JD 990 something, I think it was. So like all of those sounds are very inspiring. So I guess yeah, a lot of the Roland stuff, 808, 909, 303, 990 are definitely a big inspiration.
So when we interview the bands that we've reviewed albums of, we always like to ask, what did you guys think of our review?
I thought it was fun. It was you guys kind of had a lot of the same opinions that I had about the album, to be honest. I mean, it was always really cool to see people like go like into depth about something you've done. It's probably the first like proper review that I've heard of anything that I've ever done. So it was really cool to see like people really analyze the stuff and go song by song, like take it apart.
So at the end of these interviews, we always like to ask for an album from you for us to review on an upcoming week of the podcast.
Jesus, there's so many. So there's a band from the UK called no, actually no, fuck that. I'm from Finland. I should definitely give you a Finnish album. Okay, the best band in Finland at the moment. They're absolutely great. I'll give you an album. It doesn't have a lot of singing on it, so you don't have to worry about the lyrics, going over your head. It's quite an instrumental one. Even if you can't understand the lyrics, it's still superb songwriting. So, right. So the name of the band is Saimaa. It's spelled SAIMAA. Urheilu Suomi, so it's starting with a U. It's got like a ski jumper. Yeah, the name of the album is Sports Finland. It's got a lot of samples from like old sports broadcasts and stuff. It's a very progressive, weird sounding record, but very, very cool. I think you'll like it. It's got like disco, progressive, rock and roll, everything.
That brings us to our favorite part of the show. This is the Plug Yo Shit segment. This is where you get to shout out everything that you guys are on and everything you've got going on.
Right, so, I mean, yeah, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok. Actually, not Facebook. We're not on Facebook. Yeah, no, Instagram, TikTok, that's mainly where we do stuff. But also YouTube, obviously, there's some music videos on YouTube that you should check out. And I think we're on X as well, but I mean, it's kind of dead for music, so not that important. So yeah, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the Gamels, just with the name. There's no one else like it. We've got our first gig coming up in 2 months, or about 6 weeks. End of April, and we'll definitely try and get some footage from the gig. And yeah, we're deep in making new music and writing new songs and coming up with stuff. So yeah, just if you like the first album, then just keep an eye out. We're gonna have stuff coming out hopefully this year already. We're gonna have some new songs out.
Thank you for doing this.
It was a ton of fun.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for you. You're free to enjoy your night.
All right, well, Sunday night.
Woo!
Party on.